pretty much brought that plague bear down by myself.
Did you now?
Captain Masoni.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. As am I, in a way. Forgive me. I'm Captain Alfir, captain in the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Fair enough, envoy. Talk to the man all you'd like. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests. Barter for peace, prepare for war. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a... Broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Come on. My invention is guaranteed.
What's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. If I don't have your trust, I am determined to earn it. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Chiata is an outcast. Perhaps. But I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
Ado! Welcome to my establishment, I mean.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing me strength.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giata?
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Anamancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Misiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name, and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial envoy,
We'll get thrown out
research
of the pub.
assistant.
We're already thrown out. Really? Huh. And when did that happen? Can't say as I remember. You, my friend, need some water. Ado!
Found it, machine. Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. Perhaps, if you can help me find an appropriate battery of essence. I could use a large single block of Ultra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Ardragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So, you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Adragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Ado! Welcome, fine sir. Well, I was not expecting such anything. Welcome back. Care to...
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. The bars stifle us. We cannot recall when last we spoke. Hollow faces in a line. What has come of this place? A hand of generosity, or a gauntlet of steel. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? A new tongue, an unfamiliar name. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Set what has been broken, soothe the pain. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Punished, cast out. We understand. We peer through the murky water in vain. What is the truth? Fire that burns the forest feeds the soil with its ash. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
A godlike in emerald stone. Well, I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Sorry, I've been on my own for a while, and I forget how unusual this looks. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
Oh, and what do you use for fertilizer? Other corpses?
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. But my revenants are special. So gentle and well-behaved. Most of the time.
It's somehow worse knowing that these corpses are polite.
Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Giatta Castell wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He's a bigger fool than I thought. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Thank you. It helps that he's already dead. Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a Revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
Right behind you.
Keep your eyes peeled, envoy.
Easy!
Come and get me!
Another win, but who's counting?
One moment.
I saw you reach into Beatrice. Find anything interesting? Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. I'll be fine. I've lost so many revenants over the years, and I'm always such a wreck afterward. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. But how to find something so well hidden? Can something so metaphysical even be found? Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel. I really have been sleeping entirely too well lately.
I'm remembering why people find this place unsettling.
The great mystery is, are godlike blessed or cursed? The gods are silent on this question.
Neither. They just are. Anything else is
I hate speculation. I answer.
Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. The endangered godlike shows all the classic indicators of intelligence, but not of sentience. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
I suppose we owe her a favor. Or two.
Giata must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giata needs to finish her research. Deal?
The information wouldn't be worth anything if we just gave it to her freely, now would it? Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go around the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Forget what I think. Let's keep the focus on you. I have what I need. You take it from here, Yvette.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you are touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? It's a simple question. You have a fragment of a god inside of you. All we have are silent, unsympathetic gods, and a lifetime of unanswered prayers. So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Yvette, take a note. Godlike are inherently uncooperative. Approach with caution. I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, Godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giata wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giata will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Ah, of course. The idea is a bit high-minded. Adra acts like a pathway for souls as they rejoin the wheel.
And the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, is it not?
So, just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge. Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell! Did you
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have
Wonder if she needs
dozed
a
off
little
there for a
research,
bit. Were any
Or
of those
maybe a
words the ones we
test
needed?
We could do both. Anything to work with the Dream Scourge instead.
Yeah.
You may approach.
A welcome visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. I mean one from the land, your kind. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. Take it, and go in peace.
I can't believe you pulled that off. Now, let's get out of here before she notices my wood pistol grip.
It's like nature's shaping these ruins into something. Like a shrine. For who? One moment.
Ado. For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. There's only one way to find out. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
The spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? Strange. Shouldn't feel anything in the physical sense. No matter. Let's go over your results. Your soul is like a piece of sea glass. All the edges are smoothed down. Quite beautiful, really. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Not to besmirch a colleague, but watchers aren't the most reliable sources. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. That would be closer to Giata's area of expertise. I'm sure she'd love to give you a look. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land. Diverted, like the flow of a river. And risk joining her in exile? No. Without this workshop, we have nothing. Regardless, essence doesn't just disappear. It must be going somewhere. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
I'll be honest. He lost me when we started talking about souls. What did I miss?
Something the matter? I hope none of my colleagues scared you off. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Well, that's where I need your help. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.